here 30 minutes before the flight.
Can you please leave, sir?
No.
Can you please leave my personal space?
I'm decided that you ain't gonna let me check in.
Make me check you in.
You literally work for a company that I bought a plane ticket for. Check in.
And you're not getting on your flight. It's the Mayday flight. You didn't. And you think you're gonna check me in. I bet you we won't. Okay?
I paid for a ticket.
And you didn't pay $25 for an agent assistant and you checked in 3 hours later. Hello.
I just said that I
was gonna get on your flight.
Yeah, I just said that I would pay the $25.
And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight.
It's always that. That right there. You see that right there? Now, I went through the comments because personally I've never flown Frontier. I have no problem with flying any airline. I have a preference for Delta, and I took Delta to the place that I'm at now, right here over in Springfield, Massachusetts. Shout out to all of the people in Springfield. It's raining right now, so I had to get in. And I'm right up the street from the Basketball Hall of Fame. So I plan on hopefully making it over to the Basketball Hall of Fame yesterday. But I've never flown Frontier, and somebody actually told me that Spirit won Airline of the Year or something like that. So shout out to Spirit if that's true. But what I read in the comments was that you have to check in at least an hour before your flight or you won't be able to check in at all at Frontier. Somebody let me know inside of the chat if that's true. I have no clue if that's true or not. Somebody said that you have to check in at least an hour before. I know on Delta in particular, they ask you to check in at least, well, I don't know how long they ask you to check in for. But I do know that at Delta in particular that I usually have the opportunity to be able to check in at least 24 hours before my flight is scheduled to board. So 24 hours before, you check into your flight, and then all you got to do is make it over to the gate. I've never actually missed a flight for Delta at all, so I don't have that problem whatsoever. But here's the problem. Let's say, for example, that they were right. Let's say that they had no ability to check him in or whatever, so on and so forth. Do you have to have as bad of an attitude that you have? That's the problem. When you look at these women and, okay, so we got to pay the $25 agent assist fee. This is why I keep telling people, listen, man, you just don't go with stuff that don't give you any problems. I know people be trying to save money, but a lot of times the headache that comes along with the agent themselves is more than enough to avoid. I just, the level of professionalism, I got to give Delta their credit. They've never paid me for anything. The level of professionalism that I see on Delta flights. Now, I will tell you that there is a lot of sassiness that be on their flights. You know what I'm saying? The flight that I took yesterday here, it wasn't no sassiness. It was 3 flight attendants. 2 of them was guys, and 1 of them was a woman. We had the woman flight attendant, but the other guys, they just seemed like regular guys. It was a very rare occurrence. But the sassiness in flight attendants is crazy. However, if you can get over that part, usually the customer service is top notch and you don't have too much of a problem. Not too many delayed flights or anything like that. Everything is usually cool. But I've never ran into such customer service agents. Is it a shortage? Are they paying these customer service agents or these gate agents less to be able to do whatever it is that they're doing? Or do you get to qualify or graduate yourself into a better airline or what? Because the attitude, it's the attitude that is unacceptable. The disposition, the pulling out the phone, the hiding your name on your badge in order to be able to do what you're going to do and say what you're going to say. And then you got validation. You got the older black woman right here. She can't tell these little young chicks nothing. You got the other chick that's over there. You can't tell her nothing at all. And so they over here just getting sassy, getting angry and all of that. And I didn't hear anything from the guy that would cause for them to have this level of disrespect towards a customer. You are a representation of the airline and you are embarrassing the airline and this is what you present yourself as. I think that this is horrible. Honestly, I really do think this is horrible. And I'm glad that y'all sent me this, but we're going to continue on and we're going to make sure that we mine this out to find out exactly what's going on here because this is just too ghetto. This is too ghetto.
Your flight, and you thought you was gonna get on your flight, and you thought you was gonna get on your flight, and you thought you was gonna get on your flight.
I literally paid for a ticket. I'm here 30 minutes. I'm here 30 minutes before my flight, and they're not letting me check.
We don't control that.
And you will never fly.
You were about to let me check in. You were about to let me check in, and you not in your personal space. This is not your personal space.
This is my stationery.
This is not your personal space. You work for a company. This is not your personal space.
We ain't gotta worry about it. We ain't gotta worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it.
It's got to be Atlanta, fam. Got to be Atlanta. If I had to put $1,000 on it and say where is this happening and what location is this playing out at, I would guess Atlanta.
Literally not doing your job for a customer that has paid for a plane ticket to get home.
I told you stop.
What the heck is going on? This is crazy.
I'm literally here at Frontier. I bought a ticket and they are not letting me check in.
Now he recording everybody else with their head.
For no reason whatsoever.
I don't even care.
You said you're never flying the airline again, so we might as well help you out and have you not fly the airline.
I've already bought a ticket. I've literally
You got the sassy white man over there too?
This is your reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the best course of action, to be honest with you, is just to never associate yourself with certain things anymore. I couldn't be bothered. I wouldn't be bothered. Things that I don't like, I don't support. You know what I'm saying? I was pretty disgusted with the way that some companies, I'm not even going to name them because, you know, they got new leadership and stuff like that. Even though I still don't rock their products, I was very disgusted over the last few years with a bunch of companies that I decided to disassociate myself with. And some of them I've decided to, you know what, it seems like they moving a little differently. I like them. But the easiest way for you to object to this is not necessarily even to record it, but decide that you want to divest yourself from doing business with them altogether. And so it was just time to level up. It was time to do bigger and better things. I go where my money is appreciated. I spend my money and you know, if somebody offers a service that's much better than what we experiencing right here, that's what I would go with. And so, you know, I know people got to do what they got to do. And so, you know, they feel as though the quickest way, the most effective way to deal with something is to pull out the camera and record. But me personally, I don't got time for that. I'm not going to record. I'm not going to go back and forth. I don't feel like leveraging my platform in order to expose certain things and all of that. So I just decided that I don't want to do business with people anymore. But the attitude, and then they'll sit there and they'll wonder why things are so stereotyped, why people stereotype. It's not even a stereotype. Most stereotypes, most of them, I'm not going to say all, most stereotypes are rooted in truth, meaning that there's some truth to it, and something that you're doing actually validates people's perspective towards how they see you from a cultural perspective. It's a reason why people don't want certain people coming to their tables as servers. It's a reason why people don't want to go into certain positions or certain spots or want to fly certain airlines or deal with certain people or whatever like that, because they just, you know, the attitude is so disrespectful and it's so ugly, and you ain't even got to be that way because you're getting paid regardless. You know, somebody was telling me that they went to the airport the other day, and the person that was forcing them, or not even forcing them, but the person's disposition that was waiting for them to go in a sky priority to make sure that you was in the right line, that it was so ugly that it was just off-putting. And I'm like, yeah, just ignore it. Don't worry about it. Just keep it moving. But if people had a better attitude, they would have better positions. They would have better spaces in life. And I usually find that women that have bad attitudes, usually it comes from something else, or something else is going on and they're emotional and they can't control themselves. And it starts to be a reflection of how it is that they deal with everybody else in their everyday life. I usually just assume that people are having a bad day, that things are going wrong, and they over there as homegirls, sister code is on one accord. And I don't know if the guy was right. I don't know if he was wrong, but how you handle something and how you deal with something is 100% the way that you're going to become successful. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat of what you think about this whole interaction. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.